Hello, my stamping friends. My name is Holly Peterson, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And I have a one last Christmas card for you using the Elegant Pine Snowflakes designer paper and the Delicate Pines bundle. Here's the bundle, the stamp set, and the dies. And then just a simple inside. I like layering on the inside. I think it adds a lot to the card. So with that, we'll just set that over there. I have all of our measurements for you. We have shaded spruce card base that measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We have 2 pieces of cherry cobbler that measure 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. We have basic white for the inside, 3.5 by 4 3/4. The Elegant Pine Snowflakes designer paper, 4 by 5 1/4. I have 3 of these little pine sprigs out of old olive, and it's really nice. There's actually 3 dies in the set, so you only have to make 1 pass through the cut and emboss machine. I have some vellum that measures 2 1/4 by 5. The branching out dies, this came from that. Old olive, 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. I have basic white, 1.5 by 3.5. And then I have Secret C that measures 3/4 by 3 3/4. And this came from the Beautiful Butterflies dies. It was on last chance. I'm not sure if it's still available or not, but any label die will work, or even just a rectangle. So let's see, I'm going to do all of our embossing. Before I do that, this layer, I used the little snowflake, and let me get a scrap piece of paper. If you use Versamark on colored cardstock, it's like a watermark. So we're just going to randomly stamp the back of this label. And we'll just let it dry. Okay, we'll set that aside to dry. We're not going to emboss it or anything, and it just adds tone on tone color, just a little bit darker than the cardstock. And this is regular cardstock, not the two-tone cardstock. Okay. Let me find an embossing buddy. I'm going to just rub my label with my embossing buddy. And then this comes from that same stamp set. It's the most magical time of the year. And it's kind of tight, but it does fit. And then I have my white embossing powder. Oops. Not the most efficient way to do this. Normally I would stamp and emboss first and then die cut it. I do have some little flecks here. I have a little paintbrush here. That we'll try to get some of these flecks off. And if we have some flecks, maybe it'll just look like a little bit of snow, right? Okay, well, I have this one picked up. I'm going to heat set this real quick. You do want to use some tweezers so that you don't burn your fingers. Okay, we have that piece. And then on the vellum, I got quite the mess going on here. It's a sign of a crafty day in your room, right? As if you've got a big mess going on. Oh, embossing buddy, let's try that again on here. This one we're going to die cut, so it won't be too bad. And I'm just going to stamp 2 of these. You want to be careful when you're embossing on vellum so you don't burn it. You can burn your paper too if you leave your heat tool in the same place for too long. Cover that. Bring in our tray here. Okay, that looks pretty good. So we'll get rid of this so I don't make a mess. Okay, get this out of our way. going to bring in my little mini cut and emboss machine. We'll just line it up. Okay, so we have those. We do need to die cut 2 more little snowflakes. Let's get those stamped. So on this basic white, we're going to use one of the medium-sized little snowflakes. And I'm using Secret C. While we have that out, oh, I've already stamped my envelope, one step ahead of myself. We will stamp our inside. And this one I'm using the more swirly snowflakes, whereas these ones look more like pines. Okay, I think all of our stamping is done. We can layer this inside layer to one of the cherry cobbler layers. I've scored this, but I always like to use my bone folder to make that a nice crease. This can go on the inside. And then the cherry cobbler can go on the front of the card. I just used a skinny little border there. And then our designer paper. Oops, did I lose one of my, oh no, here he is. This paper and bundle is a carryover item. It is not on the last chance, which is wonderful. I love this paper. Okay, we'll put this down flat. And I'm just putting adhesive in the middle. One end I'm going to tuck the snowflakes underneath. So let's die cut these two little guys here. Try not to shake too much. A little bit off on that one. I'll try better on this one here. So then these I'm going to just layer in the center, and I'm going to just use a glue dot for that. Then I'm going to try to just place my glue dots underneath this top layer. With the embossing, it won't show too much, but sometimes you have to be careful when you're adding vellum because the adhesive shows through. So we'll stick that one there. Put this one down here. Our greeting is going to go on dimensionals. I think I have some little black ones I'm going to use. I'll just put that down there. And then the final touch is to add some berries. And I just used rhinestones, basic rhinestones, and I colored them with cherry cobbler alcohol marker. And these ones are a little bit bigger than those, so I think I'm just going to put one. Maybe we'll add a couple of clear ones. There we have another beautiful Christmas card. I know it's getting late for Christmas, but you can use this stamp set and paper for winter cards, birthdays or thank yous. They don't have to be Christmas cards. But anyways, thanks for watching my video today. If you've liked my video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Bye for now.